After a young girl is kidnapped by the British governor and his wife in 1920s India, her brother will stop at nothing to get her back. That description is not really a good descriptor of Rise, Roar, Revolt, abbreviated RRR. In fact, there isn't a description I could give that would accurately sum up this film. I feel like getting people to watch this is going to be a tough sell because it's not an American film and much of it is subtitled. It's about a time and a place that most Western folks just cannot relate to, and on top of that, it is 3 hours long. But hear me out. This is easily one of the best movies of 2022 and one of the most entertaining movies in nearly a decade. Everything Everywhere All at Once is getting rave reviews, and everyone agrees that it is so over the top and absurd you can't look away. RRR somehow gives it a run for its money. There is so much going on in this 3-hour movie that it literally flies by. First, the look of the film is incredible. The colors are so saturated, everything is just bright and vibrant. There's clearly a lot of CGI used in the epic landscapes, but it all looks really good. And now, while I have never taken the time to sit down and watch a lot of those epic religious classics of the 1960s like The Ten Commandments, this film reminds me of those films in just its sheer epic scale. The sets almost reminded me of the sets from The Princess Bride. They somehow look hyper-realistic and also very much like they're on a film set. Stone walls are not supposed to flex when you lean into them, but they do in RRR, and you're not even going to care because everything just looks great. This is not a true story, and it's not going to take you long to realize that when you see a guy fighting alongside wild animals like tigers. The tiger fights are a lot of fun. Yes, I said fights because there is more than one tiger fight in RRR. I did kind of have an issue with the CGI of the animals. It looked kind of cheap. The animal movements did not look good at all. The movie is so fantastical it doesn't take you out of it. The thing is, when you see a tiger get punched in the face while leaping through the air in slow motion by a man holding a lit torch, and that doesn't even crack the top 10 of crazy things that happen in this movie, you know you are in for a wild ride. Now, I don't usually audibly gasp or cheer when watching movies by myself, but multiple scenes in this were so well executed and over the top, that was the only reaction that would suffice. The absurdity of the action scenes in RRR rival anything in the Fast and Furious franchise. The fights rival any kung fu film, you know, the ones where gravity is more of a suggestion than a law, and the visuals rival any movie that has come out in the past decade, and Marvel wishes they could pull off action scenes that were this fun. Even just praising the sets and the action and the craziness, my favorite part of the movie is the relationship between our two leads. Not since Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed became best friends has an on-screen bromance brought such a smile to my face. These dudes exude love and admiration for each other, and you cannot help but smile watching them together. Everyone wishes they had a best friend that they loved as much as these guys love each other. So, on top of the great sets, the incredible cast chemistry, and the absurd and entertaining action, there's a lot of great character development, and the story actually has a lot of heart and a good message, and the characters, you grow to care about them. Just for good measure, there is an epic dance scene right in the middle that may be my favorite dance scene of any movie of all time. RRR is a movie that needs to be seen. Do not let the runtime or the fact that half of it's not in English scare you away. The set pieces rival all-time greats, the action rivals anything Marvel has ever done, the bromance is the best thing ever put on film, and the dance number puts those classic 40s, 50s, and 60s dance films like Singing in the Rain to shame. Now sure, the British actors kind of phone it in, and the dubbing isn't perfect, but when you see a man jump in slow motion through the flames of a forest fire at night while shooting British soldiers in slow motion with a bow and arrow, or a man riding atop another man's shoulders while dual-wielding rifles, shooting bad guys running full speed while escaping prison, you are not gonna care. RRR is a movie that proves American blockbusters are too formulaic. It made me excited to watch movies again. It feels fresh, and it proves there are still ways to make entertaining original films without relying on existing intellectual property. Best friends, devastating punches, epic settings, fighting alongside wild animals, forest fire anti-gravity Rambo fights, going toe-to-toe with a tiger, insane dance scenes, running underwater next to an exploding train, thousands of extras, probably CGI extras,